Hi there, welcome to my views and news. Is Ethiopia in talks to buy an expensive amphibious assault ship which costs around more than 500 million US dollars? While the government is receiving dollars from abroad, devaluing its currency, telling people that hard times ahead, this year is going to be challenging. What are the priorities of the government? Is government going to spend money on buying very expensive warships? Does Ethiopia need warships? Ethiopia is a landlocked country. Secondly, viewers, a senior official of the Ethiopian government who worked in top positions, senior positions, disclosed today that his son had been killed by the Oromo Liberation Army, OLA. Who is this man? What did he say? When was his son killed? Why did OLA kill his son? Did OLA respond to these allegations? Firstly, viewers, is Ethiopia going to spend the money which it is receiving from the IMF and World Bank to buy expensive military equipment? By the way, I said almost 4 to 5 days ago, I proposed that a senior level committee should be established, a commission should be established, fully empowered commission with government and opposition as its members. The commission should monitor and ensure the proper use of the money which Ethiopia is going to receive through these macroeconomic reforms after securing deals from the IMF and World Bank. I would reiterate this that if it does not happen, you would never know where the money will be spent. No one clearly knows the priorities of the government. The government, the prime minister has been building a palace, a huge infrastructural project, and source of funding is unknown. The prime minister has been buying the most modern drones built by Turkey while there was no need. Ethiopia already had drones, modern drones. So you never know what this government will do. That is why I've been proposing that. Now, it is being reported by government backed activists, government backed journalists that Ethiopian government is in talks with more than one countries to buy an aircraft carrier. What Ethiopia intends to buy is not an aircraft carrier. It's called an amphibious assault ship. Does Ethiopia want to buy one or more than one? We don't know. An amphibious assault ship is like a small aircraft carrier. It can host helicopters and it can work as a warship. It can be used to transport troops. It can help both naval and ground forces. And obviously, it can be used to fire missiles, etc. It has ammunition to firing capability as well. Ethiopia cannot buy an aircraft carrier, fully functional aircraft carrier. It's a costly business. It can buy an amphibious assault ship. Ethiopia is a landlocked country, but it is in talks to gain access to sea, in talks with Somaliland. It has signed an MOU. MOU could not translate into an agreement. It is very controversial. But Ethiopia hopes to gain access to sea in coming months, and it wants to establish a naval base in Somaliland. If it establishes a naval base, it would like to deploy its amphibious assault ships to this naval base so that The amphibious assault ships will serve as vertical takeoff and landing place as well. Helicopter will be able to take off and land on this amphibious assault ship. Ethiopia in talks with a couple of countries to buy this amphibious assault ship. The minimum, I'm talking about minimum, the minimum price of an amphibious assault ship is over 500 million US dollars. So if Ethiopia buys two amphibious assault ships, it will have to pay 1 billion US dollars. That is why I say that people don't have a say in how the money coming from IMF and World Bank will be utilized by Ethiopian government. Ethiopian government will have to end internal, external conflicts. Military spending will have to be reduced. If it is not reduced, there are fears that huge amount of incoming dollars could be diverted towards military spending. Let's see what happens. So far, talks ongoing. If a deal is sealed, it will not be made public, but we'll try to get information. I told you about Eritrea 2 days ago in a video. I told you in a live chat. I told you that Eritrea was in talks with a country in the Middle East to buy drones. Iran could be the potential seller of drones to Eritrean government. Secondly, viewers, a government official, a government officer who worked in top positions in Ethiopia disclosed today that his son has been murdered by the Oromo Liberation Army. OLA so far has not responded to these allegations. We're waiting for response from the Oromo Liberation Army. Haji Ibsa is the name of this man. He worked as public relations director at Ministry of Finance of Ethiopia. He worked in some other senior positions as well. Haji Ibsa, through a social media post today, said that his son has been killed by Shane. Shane is the term used for the Oromo Liberation Army by Ethiopian government officials. Why was he killed? Haji Ibsa says he was killed just because he was the son of a government officer. Haji Ibsa thanked people who stood with him in this time of crisis. Uh, let's see what the Oromo Liberation Army says, but definitely the news of the death of one son is always very tragic and heartbreaking for a father. So condolences to the family, condolences to Haji Ibsa. Oromia is turning into a regional state where some zones are seeing lawlessness. Groups are operating freely, no one to check them, to stop them. People being kidnapped. Kidnapping for ransom on the rise. Amharas entering Oromia from Amhara being kidnapped for ransom. Oromos being kidnapped for ransom as well. Factory workers. I had two videos this week. I told you about a sugar factory and Moanco that their workers had been kidnapped by an armed group. Ransom was being demanded. Government forces nowhere to be seen. Those who were abducted, their families have to pay ransom, or if the ransom is not paid, the abductees are killed. One employee of Manco was killed by the abductors, though ransom was paid. Three were kidnapped. I did a video on that. Two were released after paying ransom. Third was killed in custody. People said it's not a big news. The death of a man in the custody of an armed group is not a big news. Human life is so cheap in Ethiopia. The Oromia regional president says that he is steering the region towards unprecedented prosperity and development. This is the prosperity and development that Government officials are not safe. Their families not safe. People are not safe. Armed groups, they are ruling over parts of Oromo. Thank you for watching.